And by the way, you've lost a lot of weight. You lost 30 pounds, I'm told. What did you do?
I did a lot, Colin. I really, after the season, after the bowl game, just sitting down with players, and you have your year-end meetings, and we had some linemen that, talked about their diet and working out and having discipline. And I'm sitting there looking at myself going, God, how am I staying this? I'm not doing myself. So just changed the diet, went back to exercising like I used to, and just kept plugging away.
By the way, you have a 100% vaccination rate on your football team, which is absolutely remarkable in a state, especially with a lower vaccination rate. What was the sell? We know that some kids, it may be religion, they get misinformation. You sold your entire team on this, and how did you do it?
Well, I am proud of our players and our staff, our entire building. That's 250 people, coming together, and it's hard to get that to happen. And like you said, we're in a state that was dead last in vaccination rate. So we didn't make anybody do anything. We didn't force anybody, but we did educate people. And we brought in not just our own doctors, but outside doctors for information and for support in this decision-making process. And, really what it came down to is a lot of the kids, a lot of the employees, adults, it really wasn't for sure no. It was really, well, I read one article, or I had one person tell me this, so I'm just going to say no. And it's easier to say no than yes, because I don't have to go down the road and get the shot or, go to the doctor's office. So I think a lot of it was that. Versus what people really think it is, that everybody's so educated on this.
Ole Miss football coach turned them around offensively in 1 year, one of the great recruiters in college football. So I trust your judgment on quarterbacks. Mac Jones had a field day against you guys last year. Tell me, what do you like about his game? Any concerns going to the NFL? He's not a, quote, great athlete, but when you faced him, what did the film say and what did the game say to you afterwards?
Well, he played great versus us, but everybody played great versus us, Colin. So that's a really good thing to go by. But know Mac well, great competitor, phenomenal student of the game. He's going to study. He's going to know everything about it. I think he'll do really well. And, I think in the offseason, when we watched cut-ups of things to learn, and, you kind of learn the players even more. And he was extremely accurate, with his deep ball throws. Now, over 2 years of throwing to 4 first-rounders helps your accuracy too, but he did a great job.
Jalen Hurts, who you had. Philadelphia is going to let him roll, Lane, for 16 games. What do you like? What would be your concerns on the Eagles quarterback?
I like how Jalen can get out of trouble. I like that, especially so many plays are not made in rhythm, and he does a great job of doing that. The concern would just be, an entire season at that level as a young quarterback at any age, just having the experience and going through everything. And most guys take a while. Everybody now wants everybody to play great right away. And in that position, most of the time, takes a while.
Lane, when you went to Oakland, it's well documented. There were a lot of picks that Al Davis muscled through that you weren't a fan of, but you were a young coach, and there were a lot of skeptics. And it always takes time in society for us to just put our arms around cultural changes. Now in the NFL, Zach Taylor, Sean McVay, just kids. I mean, we got Nick Sirianni. We got all these young guys. And take me back a little bit. It was such a stigma. Your age was such a big deal. And my takeaway is young people, my kids are smarter than I was. Young people are just smarter. Do you remember when you were with the Raiders, just all the doubt and skepticism you had to constantly hear and face?
I remember some of it, but, I was young enough. And I think that's, one of the good things about being young. Is you think you can do everything, and you think you got all the answers. So that's bad and good at the same time. So I had no concerns. What I think when you are young, what you need is the right people around you. Just like to be a good quarterback, you need the right pieces around you of the organization and the other players. And so I think any head coach needs that, but especially when you're young.
You faced Alabama and Nick Saban, and there's always been this feeling from people outside the SEC bubble that, Kiffin and Saban, oh, boy, I don't know. And I know both of you. I have a hard time believing. I mean, I don't know. I think Nick let you run an offense. He just gave it to you. And if you go look at what you did, you didn't have first-round quarterbacks. Do you and Nick, if you walk up to each other, what is it like now today?
Very comfortable. It's happened a number of times, and great respect for him, great appreciation for what he did for me and giving me that opportunity. Colin, when the USC thing happened, all of a sudden, I didn't know anything about coaching. So, he gave me a great opportunity, and, people want to give me credit for changing the offense there. But as a head coach, especially a head coach that is set in his ways, for him to want to change on offense, and it was his idea. I didn't come in saying, this is what you should do. He said, this is what I want you to do. I want to change. I'm tired of people running these plays against us and we don't have an answer for them. So just appreciating that opportunity. And, it's a good lesson. Sometimes when you just sit and listen, for 3 years and learn from somebody, you can learn a lot. And obviously that helped us last year the other way, playing against him, because you heard for 3 years what he didn't like to see.
Yeah. Well, you've had Pete Carroll and Nick Saban as mentors, and you're obviously going to be a mentor for some young coaches out there. It's funny. If I have friends, I just met with some friends the other day from the SEC. I had dinner with them, and they just love football. I'm a West Coast guy, but I always tell my West Coast friends, you just don't want it as badly. As a guy who loves the West, and I know you do, if explain Southern football to a West Coast guy who just thinks the media doesn't like us, and I say, you just don't understand the SEC. Explain it to them.
Yeah, you really don't. And until you get in it, you view it different, you think out there. It's like it's just not a different league. It's like a different sport. And you can utilize it in some really good ways too. Like this vaccination, as a head coach of USC, I think if you do that, you're going to have some impact. But you do that as the head coach of Ole Miss, fans now are lining up to, get vaccinations because the football team did it. So
right.
It is completely different, and there's good and bad to everything. And you and I've talked before. You can go to down there in Manhattan Beach, and maybe a few people recognize you, being the head coach of USC, but they don't. They just maybe say hi or something. Down here in the South, you ain't going anywhere quick. So it takes you an hour to go to the grocery store. So it's just a totally different world. They are passionate about it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.